Hey guys, this is Anastasia Autumnfire, and this is day 2 of my countdown to Beltane. Tonight's craft, I really wanted to key into some of the goddess energies that Beltane brings. I focused a lot on the cleansing and renewal, as well as the fertility that this Sabbath brings with it. So what I kind of had inspiration today from, of all things, some woman at work. We were just in an elevator together. I have no clue who she was, but she felt the need to make small talk. And she said the phrase, well, I guess, because it was raining super bad here in Minnesota. And she was complaining about the rain and this and that. And she's like, well, I guess, there's that saying, April showers bring May flowers. And I kind of laughed because that's always kind of been a hokey phrase in my opinion. But it really stuck with me because I thought that's exactly how it works. Like, you take something that's kind of has this negative connotation for most. For me, I love rain. I absolutely adore it. I love storms. Always been that person. I know a lot of people that are. But even someone like me, where I love raining, I love the storms. If it's raining in the morning and I have to go to work, instantly I'm brought down because for some unearthly reason, Minnesotans do not know how to drive in rain. We can get through a blizzard, but once it starts raining, people don't know what to do. So whenever I see it raining in the morning, I know I've got to tack on at least 30 minutes to my morning commute, and it's kind of a pain. And it's instantly just kind of this, I don't want to deal with this crap. But when this happens, I get stuck in traffic and I'm sitting there forever. But as I look around me, and for some reason, when you're in the midst of a storm or when it's raining and cloudy and overcast, if you look around, the earth is vibrant. The leaves all over are this super bright green. The grass is just so bright. I can't put proper words to it, but it truly is this realization for me that, I have to deal with all this crap. I don't want to sit in traffic. I hate sitting in traffic, and it's raining, and for some reason people don't understand how to move. I get all angry about this, but when I look around, I realize what's actually taking place, and that is that the earth is cleansing itself. It's rejuvenating. It's giving itself what it needs to grow, to become stronger, to heal, to rejuvenate. And that's a lot like what we do in our everyday lives. A lot of us crave fertility, even if it's not the stereotypical, I want to conceive a child. For myself, I really yearn for spiritual fertility. I want connection. I want to grow in my path. I want to learn more. I want to learn more about my gifts, if I have any. I want to learn more about, better ways of doing things, better ways of connecting. I always want to know more and learn more and be more. And the only way for me to do that is to get past, a lot of junk, to overcome obstacles, to have to deal with a lot of things that I don't necessarily want to deal with. For example, in my case, it's time management. I have to work umpteen hours. I come home, I have a family, I want to spend time with them. But then I want to make time for my spiritual craft as well, and learn and read. But I also need to go to bed so I can start the cycle over. And then on weekends you throw in, even more family, and then you have friends, and then you have all sorts of other stuff that you do. And it's just finding time. And it's my spiritual craft. I want to learn more. I need to learn more because that's the type of person I am. I need to make time for it. But that sacrifice sometimes is tough. It is a hard road to kind of travel at times. And but in the end, it's that rainstorm. You have to weather the storm to get through to what you want. Anything you want isn't worth having without fighting for it, in a way. Nothing comes without giving something else. So I thought that that idea of April showers bringing May flowers was really very poetic and very apt at this point in my life, because through all these obstacles, through all this stuff we don't necessarily know how to combat or how to deal with or where things fit in, when we just take time to slow down and focus on what it is we want and need in life, we find that manifestation. We can make things happen by just listening and confronting that which we don't necessarily want to confront all the time. By going through these struggles, by going through these, for some people it's shadow work, for some people it's facing your fears, which could also be a form of shadow work, but it's just fighting the good fight to get to that end result. And that's kind of what it is. We deal with the rain, we deal with the storm, and then in May or whenever, we have this beautiful resurgence of life. And we have this amazing, thriving garden. And that's what tonight's craft is about. It looks a little wonky sitting in front of you. I realize that. But I wanted to explain. So I made a witchy, an earthen witchy orb, which I've made a few times. Inside is my sachet bag. In there I have a 13 blend mix. I have, just grabbing my notes super quick. I have 3 items for purification or cleansing. I used actually 3 bay leaves, and bay leaves also help for wish granting. There's a ritual you can do with writing your wish onto the leaf and then burning it. What I did was I wrote the stages, because this is, of course, a craft I'm making for someone else, because that's how I roll. And the person that I made this for, they're going to have to work through stages, that overcoming your fear and facing some obstacles, then accomplishing the second item, and then manifestation in the ultimate goal. So I put those 3 steps, basically each step on each leaf, to kind of work that wish aspect as well. Then I also have cloves and frankincense, and all of those also have other qualities which I wrote down and put in for use as well. But the major point for adding those was for cleansing and purification. Then I focused on fertility. And again, you can use fertility in the literal sense, meaning, I want to be great with child and give birth and this, that, and the other thing. Or you can be more abstract. I want fertility in my career. I want business opportunities to blossom and to take root. Things like that. I want to become pregnant with opportunities to expand my business, what have you. So for fertility, I used apple. I used a lily. And I also used mandrake. And again, all of those have other properties as well, which I did utilize. Then I went to 3 items for potency or virility. Again, if you're working with the basic concept of fertility, meaning I want to get pregnant, that's very important to focus on, especially since it does take two to tango. We need to focus on both the woman and the man when working with fertility in the literal sense. So you have potency and virility. I kind of attribute those to the masculine energies. But if you're working with, fertility for creativity in your life or in your craft, well, potency, let's kick up the energy in this sachet, let's make this power that is within this, just kick it up a notch. That's the way you can look at it as well. And there we have, I'm using juniper berries, fennel seed, and cherry wood. Then I used 3 herbs for aiding in removing blockages and obstacles. A lot of times when we are focusing on something that we're trying to manifest and it's not coming, a lot of times there's something in our way. And again, using the symbolism of a rainstorm, you can be walking in the rain and okay, and it's cleansing and it's refreshing and it's revitalizing you. But when you come up to a cement wall, your journey ends. That's it. There's nothing more you can do. You need a jackhammer to get through that type of an obstacle. So I wanted to add a little bit more punch to this bag as well, in case the obstacles this person is dealing with are a bit more concrete than just a simple, cleansing of the spirit. So I used some agrimony, lemon, and nettle. Then the last item I used is actually a blend that I created to represent the individual themselves. So again, just using that identifier. Then also in the sachet bag, I have 3 stones. I have 2 stones that connect to Beltane, a rose quartz, and a garnet, because again, this is being made in the spirit of Beltane. The rose quartz I see very much as the feminine stone of love, whereas the garnet I see as a very masculine stone of love. So I liked having that balance. They both are also stones that lend themselves to fertility. Then the third stone I used was, again, as an identifier for the person this is being made for, and that was a moonstone. Moonstones also connect to fertility, but they also connect to this individual's matron goddess, and I definitely think this is a stone that represents them as well. So I liked using that as the identifier stone. So the idea is the Lord and Lady can use their love to help fertility take hold in this other person as well, if that makes sense. That sounds really weird, but I'm hoping you get my gist. Then I put my little, wrote my little spell. I don't know that you can see it on there because I've got some glitter and all sorts of other stuff on there. But I wrote my spell in my witch's alphabet on the sachet bag. I chose gold for the sachet bag. I see gold as being a color of success and abundance, prosperity, all that fun stuff. And then the spell that I wrote on the sachet bag directly, I used green because green very much relates to me for fertility and growth. Then we bound the spell, honed it in for the intent that it was made for with the 3 ribbons. I braided it. Red, green, and white are 3 colors that are highly associated with Beltane, but also I found they really connected to this intent in this craft as well. Red for courage, passion, love. Some see it as a color for fertility as well. For me personally, green is more of the fertile color, but it also has healing and growth, as well as calmness, because a lot of times when we are struggling to get to a manifestation or get past ickiness to get to the good place, if that makes sense, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of darkness that we have to overcome, and a lot of times we just need some peace and calming to help. And then I also have white for cleansing, purification, overall just kind of an all kind of energy color as well. I love using white because it can be anything and everything that you need. Then I took some sealing wax, and I used I used silver and gold. Silver to represent the goddess, gold to represent the god. And I just dripped it down kind of like rain. The thought process in that is that the god and the goddess are aiding in the cleansing that has to take place in order for the spell to manifest. It just basically washes over the orb and kind of helps aid in the protection of the spell itself. I liked the symbolism in that. Then I used some green glitter. I don't know necessarily how much is seen. I know the sachet bag is really showing, but there's little sparkles here and there on the twigs, which I like. And that's just kind of to add a little bit of whimsy to it and magic, so to speak. So that is my earthen witchy orb for cleansing fertility in the spirit of Beltane. The person who I will give this to can hang this. They can just set it on their altar if they see fit. Really, they can use it however they wish to. I apparently still have a tag on here. Not sure how that happened. There we go. But yeah, that in a nutshell is my cleansing fertility earthen witchy orb. And I need to come up with a better name, but for right now, that's what I got. So, yeah, that is day 2. Tomorrow I'm going to be crafting a little something using the aspect of the Great Rite, or the tradition of the Great Rite. So tomorrow's video might get a little rambly and might get a little awkward because the Great Rite is all about sex, but in my opinion it's such a key component to Beltane, and it's such an empowering aspect as well, and I'll get into all that tomorrow. But for tonight I will leave it here. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great night. Many blessings. Bye.